Pnut the Squirrel, one of the largest meme coins on the Solana chain that had been launched through the Pump.fun ecosystem. Is there still upside potential? Who's buying here? Who's selling here? What's currently driving the price? Let's have a look at some data most people are not considering. So here's Pnut in the Pump.fun ecosystem. It's got double the size of Chill Guy, which is a quite trending token recently. It's 3 times the size of Mudang and Fartcoin. We see that in general, the Pump.fun ecosystem had a pretty rough week. Most tokens went down, but it appears as if the price is now stabilizing somewhat for Pnut. Is the $1, $1.10 somewhat of a floor? And can we only go up from here? Now, this is not the first video on Pnut on this channel. I've actually published quite a few. The very first video was published 24 days ago. And initially, not a lot of people were interested, but then as the price rose, also the interest rose. And so here is that very first video. At the time, we were still at 11 cents. And since then, we went up by 10x even after this recent correction. So if you want to be early with meme coins next time, feel free to subscribe to this channel. I try to pick meme coins that are in positive trends, but that still have some upside potential left. And so again, this was the first video on Pnut. It made 85% more views than the average video. The next video got more popular because of course the investor base of Pnut grew in the meantime. That outperformed 2.4 times the average video. The next one even more, 5.2 times. And it seems like things are slowing down again somewhat. The second last video made 1.2 times the number of average views. And just the recent video made pretty much the average views, a bit at the top end, but still it looks like at the beginning nobody was watching, then momentum peaked, and now we are slowing down somewhat, at least when we just look at the retail interest according to the views on YouTube. Now, in theory, how much more upside is there really for Dogecoin? Let's have a look at the relative market caps in the entire meme coin space. So let's go out of Pump.fun, let's look across all kinds of blockchains. The answer is in this table over here. The largest of the meme coins has 59 billion in market cap. That's Dogecoin. And Pnut is at 1.1 billion. So if Pnut was to become the largest meme coin across all chains, there would still be a 50x. Is that realistic? I'm not so sure. The largest of the meme coins on the Solana chain is Bonk. That's currently at 3.3 billion. So that would be a 3x from here. Everything beyond that is of course a lot of speculation, because only with centralized exchange ownership, with a lot of market making, can we go beyond that. And so let's have a look at the on-chain statistics. What's happening with the transactions on the Solana chain, the buyers and sellers, etc. There's currently 68,000 holders on chain, but not all of those holders are created equally, right? Some of the wallets might just have a few cents of the token, others might have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of the token. Now what we see over here is the number of first-time traders versus recurring traders in the last month. And on the right side, we see the number of token transactions in the last month per day. And so we can clearly see that at the beginning, when the token was launched, there was a lot of first-time traders. The token really expanded its investor base. That continued for a while. There was a second wave in the middle of this month. And since then, we are rather trickling down in the number of new traders. Again, it seems like interest is waning somewhat. We also see that in the number of token transactions. That peaked on the 3rd of November. The number of first-time users peaked already one day earlier, on the 2nd of November. We can see the exact same effect when we look at the decentralized exchange trading volume. So on the left side, that's denominated in US dollars. On the right side, that's normalized to 100% per day. And we segment here by different wallet cohorts. So we've got small retail, we've got medium-sized retail, we've got large retail, and we've got the whales. And again, we see our 2 waves of adoption, and we see that over time, especially medium-sized retail tends to take more and more of the ownership. So that's now the wallets that have between $1,000 and $10,000 worth of the token. Small retail tends to decline, so does large retail and the whales. And so instead of looking at the trading volume, we can also look at the number of holders over time on chain. Again, small retail on the left, the whales on the right, in the middle, something in between. So to make that distinction, we've got minimum holding thresholds in terms of the number of tokens. On the left side, that's 1,000 tokens. In the middle, it's 10,000 tokens. On the right, it's 100,000 tokens. And with the price being close to $1, that equates similar dollar amounts as well. And we we can see again how the ownership isn't really changing that much in the last few days. So really, if Pnut was to break out now, this is probably a move generated by the centralized exchanges or by the market makers. Because most trading volume happens on Binance and on HTX. Whitebit is another white labeled version of Binance. We've also got OKX and BitGet that are part of the party. But again, on chain, not much happens. And so the price also doesn't move much unless those centralized exchanges want the price to move. We see the same picture for the perpetual futures market. So for the bets, the derivative contracts, the bets on the price. Again, that's dominated by Binance and OKX. And so it might make sense to rather look at the centralized exchange data than looking at the on-chain data. So have a look at this. This is a funding rate heat map. And over here, we've got the Pnut token. And have a look at this. The 14th of November, we have seen a very high APR. It was very expensive to leverage on rising prices of the Pnut token. And that data point was over here. It was exactly when the price peaked. We had another day of high funding rates. That didn't do much on the price, but it's interesting, right? The price went down quite a bit. So from top to that point in time by 26%, and potentially those levered bets and the hedging of those levered bets pushed up the price a little bit. So when we are currently in bullish momentum, very high funding rates might mean that the centralized exchanges want to depress the price to potentially liquidate some people. When we are currently not that much in bullish momentum, then the centralized exchanges simply just hedge themselves. Now here's a very interesting recent development. You very likely do not have access to this kind of chart. This here shows how much advertisers on my YouTube channel pay for 1,000 views of their ads. And it suddenly, out of nothing, spiked to roughly double of what it used to be. In other words, crypto projects, centralized exchanges, etc., they are now competing for advertising space in the crypto scene. And it's not just money that's flowing into advertising for crypto. There's also simply fiat money that's flowing into the space as a whole. The stablecoin market cap tends to rise, and it's recently even accelerating. So since October of last year, we see money flowing into crypto again. That of course causes a lot of crypto asset prices to go up. And especially in the recent days, since beginning of the month, we also see the altcoins going up in aggregate. So what we have over here is the others dominance. This is how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that's not in the top 10. That went up by roughly 20% in the last month. And so pretty much everything is now going up. The art in crypto trading though is to buy early, right? It's to buy when the prices are still low. So for example, over here, the Chill Guy token, it's now at 50 cents. But I made a video on Chill Guy when it was still at 20 cents. And I hope a lot of you made money with that video because it was a quite popular one. And so this is the real art, right? We have to get into tokens when momentum is bullish and when there's still enough upside potential. And so this is what this channel is all about, right? It's about discussing tokens that a lot of people don't yet have on their radar. So feel free to subscribe. Now, how can I find tokens like Chill Guy early? Or how can I find things like the GOAT token or the ACT token early? Those are one of the largest Pump.Fun ecosystem tokens. This is a wallet tracking alert. How Kyle Chessy bought the GOAT token for 14 cents. That was over here. Since then, the price went up by more than 500%. Temporarily, it was up by more than 800%. Who's Kyle Chessy? It's this influencer over here. He's got 137,000 subscribers and he tends to be relatively early on trending tokens. And so here is how that works. We use on-chain analytics again to figure out who is owning what wallet. It's not a very easy task, but we've got an entire community that just focuses on that single task. Find wallets that are very useful, of insiders, of top traders, of influencers. Let's find those wallets and then track them. So over here, we've got the wallets that we track by Kyle Chessy. We've got 12 in total. Well, let's talk about the ACT token. Here's our signal for ACT. CryptoBanter bought the ACT token at 3.7 cents. Now it's at 58 cents. So an increase of 1,500% since that signal. And of course, temporarily, the gain was even higher, more than 2,000%. Now, where do crazy gains like this come from? They come from attention. They come from a lot of eyeballs getting into one single token. And so here are those eyeballs. This is the CryptoBanter channel. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. When they talk about the token, of course the token has to go up. And so we've got 33 of CryptoBanter's wallets. And so really, I think this is the better approach compared to just drawing random lines on price charts. I think it's better to follow the smart money. It's better to follow the insiders. It's better to simply copy trade the people that tend to make money in crypto. And I like this approach that much that I made a dedicated tutorial course just on this. How can we find various influencer wallets? How can we track those wallets? And how can we subsequently also interpret the signals that we get from the tracking? It's 8 videos in total. It's all part of Premium, so that's down below, thebitcoinstrade.com. Premium is not just about wallet tracking, it's also about on-chain analytics, right? The charts that we looked at today in this video. It's also about portfolio diversification, risk management, indicator backtesting. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total. Once we get our wallet signals, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to compare the on-chain analytics. That's why we've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like Premium, in case you don't learn anything, simply just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. And so, does it make sense to buy the Pnut token right now? I'm not so sure, right? Because the price action is 100% in the hands of the centralized exchanges, and it's all about the upside potential with meme coins, right? Meme coins do not have any inherent value, thus we need to get that additional risk compensated. But when Pnut is already in the hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap, and when other meme coins are much smaller and they've got way more upside potential, why not trade those? I believe it's much better to buy a meme coin that just gets adoption on chain, where there's a lot of new investors flocking in. I think it's much more risky to buy a meme coin that's already big and that's mainly in the hands of the market makers that can push the price in any direction they want. Again, I have nothing against Pnut, right? I made a video on Pnut very early on this channel when the price was still at 11 cents. I'm simply just looking at risk versus reward plays over here. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in Premium. Cheers!